All right, what's going on? It's your man, it's Hunnit Acre Woods. We back again with the MPC gospel, but instead of like a theory or practice lesson, we're gonna do some inspiration. And I want you to know what your job is as the producer. So essentially, what you're doing is you're buying a job. You're an entrepreneur. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are not gonna understand that. Why? Well, maybe because they never had a vision, they never had a passion, you know what I'm saying? Or they let somebody trick them out of it and, they just passing along the trauma. But don't let that stop you, because at the end of the day, you invest in your time, your attention, your energy, and your money to become a music producer. That's somebody who creates jobs. So throw the hate away. Let it roll off your shoulders. I know it's easier said than done, but I hope by the end of this video and by the end of the MPC gospel, you'll have some, Teflon or some armor to strengthen your aura. Now, whether you know it or not, and I don't want to insult your intelligence, so I'm just going to assume you know that you're paying money to develop this skill and to learn how to influence the mental and emotional states of your generation. Whether you know it or not, you're a magician. But let's talk about the actual job requirements of a music producer. Now, I'm going to pull up the website, but as you can see, I'm outside right now. So I took notes. But essentially, a music producer is required to be highly creative, highly driven, resilient, and to be a great communicator. Now, obviously, you need to be creative so that you can hear the music in your imagination before you even put it down on paper or into your MPC, right? You need to be creative so that you can hear old pieces of music and rearrange it in your head, or even be creative to take things that people are doing now and refashion it. You need to be driven because it's something that you want to do. It's not something that somebody's going to be pushing you to do. And you need to be resilient because it's not something that people are going to be encouraging you to do. People are going to be actively discouraging you. You know what I'm saying? People are going to hate on you because they're hypnotized to the sounds of the popular music, which is cool. You know what I'm saying? That's why you, being creative, learn what's going on in popular music so that you could take it and refashion it to fit your mold. Other requirements are also to assist artists and groups, bands, to create recorded music. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be for album, whether it be for film, advertisement on TV, or wherever. The responsibilities of a music producer is developing and making creative content, whether it's in studio or it's at a live event. The roles of a music producer is to put together separate parts of a sound recording, arrangement. It says to make decisions on the who, whether it be individual artists playing the arrangements that you create, finding vocalists, finding writers. These are the things that you as a producer are responsible for when you take it to the next level. Right now, you're just developing your skill and your creativity. But when you actually get into the game and making it a professional thing, these are your roles and your responsibilities. So again, it's to put together separate parts of a sound recording, to make decisions on the who, not necessarily the how, because you're going to get it done anyway. It's your job to figure out what pieces of the puzzle need to go together. You figuring out the process, you making decisions on the process of the music recording, and you making decisions on how to utilize the budget. You're not necessarily setting the budget unless you're the executive producer or the record label owner, but you manage how the money is being spent. Other responsibilities and roles include recording, writing, arranging, and running live events. So that sounds to me like a musical entrepreneur. Nah, cause push up the notes because I'm done with the notes. But when you look up the etymology of the word entrepreneur, it'll talk about, as you'll see now, because I'm just gonna pull it up, it'll talk about being a manager and an organizer of a theatrical event. It'll also talk about assuming risk. And that's where you have to be resilient and driven, because risk is not only the actions that you take, but it's the money that's involved. Like when they talk about risk assessment and all that, they're talking about the dangers that's involved, but also the money that you can lose. So I want you to, one, put respect on yourself as a music producer, and two, make other people put respect on you, because you've chosen to get off the hamster wheel and do something about your life, and to do something about the emotional and mental state of your generation. So just be inspired by that and make your content. Don't let anybody stop you from making your content. So with that said, I'm gonna play this little clip from Troy Terrain, aka Star from the Star Report. Go check it out. And I'll see you on the next lesson. We're gonna be talking about the lyric triad, putting your words, like getting your word bank together, and getting your modes and your keys and harmonies straight. So until next time, it's Hunnit Acre Woods. Always be creative. Peace.
Hold on a second. Let me just say something to some of you content creators. There is so much money on YouTube, Instagram, and these other platforms. Don't let anyone try to tell you, yo, I ain't got time to be on YouTube every day. That is the weakest excuse for someone who has nothing to offer. You have plenty of time to be on YouTube. This can be a career for you if you pay attention to the community guidelines and the business of social media. And this isn't directed to anybody in particular. I've heard this over the years. Yo, I ain't got time to be up on YouTube every day. Why not? People from other cultures, ethnicities, nationalities are making millions on YouTube. Find something to offer the masses. You don't have to be funny. You don't have to be a hater. But don't let anybody tell you, yo, I ain't got time for that. Well, then get the fuck out the way. Let somebody jump in who has something to offer on a daily basis. There was a time when African Americans couldn't even have a goddamn voice in the media, let alone television, radio, newspapers. I mean, there were black newspapers, going back throughout history, but for the most part, the black voice was suppressed. Now you have the power of the internet at your fingertips. What is the problem now? Again, I just want to speak to those of you who are, considering getting on YouTube and considering doing something and you have to find your lane, find your lane. Take your time. And if you want any advice from me, don't fall into the trap of feuding with people. That's a trap because that's just going to lead to demonetization. Your page is going to wind up in a category of what they call a high risk. Jump up on YouTube every goddamn day. Even if you just have to sit there and stumble and fumble. Buck Wild and I got on public access, Manhattan Neighborhood Network. We had to find a groove. We had to find a lane. We had to find a formula. I paid $120 a week for a year. A fucking year. I paid for us to be on cable TV before MTV came knocking, and they did. I started to give a shout out, but I don't do shout outs. It took us about maybe 4 to 5 months to find the groove. So I just want to say that to some of you who, you're listening to these people who they have nothing to offer. Don't fall into that trap. And don't start feuding with other channels and other people. Do you. Okay? Just had to say that.